What's goody, everybody? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 best prospects in this draft class. Now, by no means do I think this is going to be how the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks are. I'm just saying who I think the 5 best players are going to be, and I'm going to rank them. Now, I'm excluding Wembanyama since personally I feel like he might be a bust. Like, he's just Kristaps Porzingis, in my opinion. Like, he's going to have injury problems and whatnot. So, as good as he's projected to be, I'm not totally sold on him yet. But if he is healthy, he is going to be really good. But he's got to get stronger and not be injury prone. Some of the players that I'm going to talk about in this video aren't even projected to go in the lottery. And as we've seen, just because you go in the lottery doesn't mean you're going to be good. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Also, if you have any lists top 5 lists dealing with the draft that you want me to cover, just let me know. Comment, DM me, message me on TikTok, whatnot. Just let me know because I'm going to make a top 5 most overrated list, top 5 most underrated, and then the day before, I'm going to release my big board. Not necessarily like, I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. Do you all want me to do a prediction or do you want me to just make a big board on like who I think the best prospect at every spot is? So at number 1, I have GG Jackson out of South Carolina. Now, if you follow me on TikTok, you know I think he's going to be the next LeBron James. Now, will he end up being the next LeBron James? Probably not. LeBron James was the second best player of all time, but there's so much resemblance to their game and play style. They both attack fast break situations and both run the floor, both extremely athletic, and both are 6'9" and about 210, 215. And GG Jackson's upside is tremendous. He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now, and he's going to the NBA draft after having a year of college experience. Now, I honestly think he's going to be better than both of the Thompson twins. I think he's the best power forward available. I think he's going to be better than Brandon Miller when it's all said and done. So don't be shocked when that happens, all right? 3 landing spots that I have for him are at number 1, this would be the 5th overall pick. This is Detroit. I think Detroit really needs him. The Pistons need a generational talent, which GG Jackson is. And people keep forgetting he's supposed to be a senior. Bro, he's going to be really good in the right situation. I think Detroit's the right situation because you have playmaking guard in Cade. You got Jaden Ivey, and there's just a lot of upside with him being in Detroit. So that's probably my favorite spot for him to end up, a realistic spot for him to end up as well. The next team is the 8th overall pick in Washington. The Wizards, they need to enter a rebuild. They suck. There's no way to talk about them without saying they suck. They're terrible. Bradley Beal is on the worst contract in the NBA. We all know that. So you're not trading him. So you might as well just shoot for the stars and get tremendous upside in GG Jackson because you're not competing anytime soon. And especially being in the East where there's Giannis, Embiid. Embiid's going to be good next year. But there's Giannis, Embiid, Boston Celtics, the Cavaliers are going to be good. You just really have no reason to rush into competing. So I think getting a guy like GG Jackson is perfect because you really do need a secondary offensive scorer. And that's what GG Jackson is. Now, the most realistic spot for Jackson to end up is outside of the lottery since he's not getting as much coverage as he should. And my favorite team that I think should take him is Miami Heat. Miami Heat needs scoring, and he is a perfect scorer. Now, I don't think he'll end up in Miami at all because he doesn't fit the culture, in my opinion. But it would be interesting to see him in Miami. My second best player in the draft is Scoot Henderson. Now, Scoot Henderson very well could be the one. he's either going to be one or two. There's just a really high floor, meaning he is going to be a quality NBA player no matter what. Like, the chances of him being a bust are really low, if you ask me. So there's not really an explanation needed. He's going to need to work on a jump shot. He's going to need to develop his game, but I think his floor is current Russell Westbrook, which is a winning player. Like, Westbrook really helped the Clippers in the playoffs this year. And if he's in the right fit, he's going to be productive. So I think Scoot Henderson's going to be his second best player in the draft, maybe first. Who knows? The three spots I'd like to see Scoot Henderson end up, he's not going to end up in San Antonio, even though you could make an argument that the Spurs should draft him. The Charlotte Hornets, they should take him at 2, trade LaMelo, or keep LaMelo. It doesn't matter. Get Scoot Henderson on your team. He's a generational guy. Then Houston would be nice. I mean, I don't really like the Houston team as constructed right now, but getting a guy like Scoot Henderson wouldn't hurt you at 4. All 3 landing spots are based on the 2 through 4 picks for him, since he's not going outside the top 4, probably not going outside the top 3. But I think Toronto could be interesting. Like, I'd love to see Scoot Henderson play in Toronto. Like, I think that's a match made in heaven, like, just looking at it. But of course, they'd have to trade with Portland, which is realistic. So that's what I would do. I'd like him in Toronto, Houston, or Charlotte, which he'd probably end up in Charlotte if they're smart. The third guy on my list is Dariq Whitehead out of Duke. I know y'all are going to call me crazy because I just said Gigi Jackson's the next LeBron, but he's not going to be as good as LeBron. Dariq Whitehead is the next Kawhi Leonard, but he's not going to be as good as Kawhi Leonard. They're Walmart versions of them. And we're talking about 2 all-time greats when I'm saying Walmart version. So they're going to be top 20 players in the league in their prime. Dariq Whitehead is the next Kawhi Leonard because he is injury prone, just like Kawhi. He's an elite defender, just like Kawhi. And he has an ability to take his offense to the next level. When Kawhi came into the league, he wasn't really much of a jump shooter. I mean, he was on the Spurs and he was there for defense, right? And then he developed his jump shot. Dariq Whitehead already has a jump shot. So you're getting a guy that already has the tools to be a 3-and-D player for a long time to come. Now, if he's in a rebuilding team, he's definitely going to reach the Kawhi Leonard, Walmart Kawhi Leonard potential that I see. Now, if he's not, he's probably going to be another 3-and-D player. But given the right situation, who knows? Sky's the limit. The 3 best places for him. Now, Dariq Whitehead isn't projected to go in the lottery, I don't think. And if he is, it's definitely after pick 10. But if I'm Washington, I'm trying to get Dariq Whitehead because he's a win-now player that you could have around Bradley Beal. And Dariq Whitehead is going to be a ready player coming in. So you're not really hurting yourself at all by getting him, assuming you're going to have to keep Bradley Beal on your roster. The next place is the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, they need defense. I think Dariq Whitehead is at his worst is going to be Dorian Finney-Smith. And that's exactly what Dallas lost, and that's exactly why they sucked this year. All right, Dallas, take him at pick 10. That's a perfect fit for Dallas. And then lastly, at pick 12, if I was OKC, I would take him here since he's 6'7". I mean, you're smaller if you're OKC, so having him at the 3 or the 4, you're still small, but he's exactly like Lou Dort, but taller. And Lou Dort has a trade market. So you could look to move on from Lou Dort and get Dariq Whitehead. The 4th best player, in my opinion, is Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks, we all didn't see him play too much in college. He went to UCF, not a big conference, but if you've seen him play, you know or if you've seen his stats, you know he's a 6'9", floor spacing, explosive guy. So realistically, he has a high floor. Just like I said with Scoot Henderson, no matter how you want to look at it, Taylor Hendricks is going to be a quality NBA player. Now, he might be average, but average is probably his worst because you shoot the ball, you're in the NBA, no questions asked. So there's going to be a spot on the team for him. Now, will his shot translate? It should, but if it doesn't, he's going to have a mid-range jump shot, which is really what you do need in order to be on a roster. Now, I think he can play defense. I don't know too much about him to that extent. Like, I haven't seen him in a live game, but from what I've seen, there's a defensive upside and offensive upside. So he's my fourth best player, in my opinion. Now, I'd like to see him end up in Charlotte, but they're probably not going to trade down and get him. Dallas, you need interior presence. I mean, he's not really a center, but you still get floor spacing around Luka and a guy with defensive upside, but that's probably unrealistic. Detroit, I think Detroit, you need to take a power forward. Power forward is the best position in this draft. You got four guys you can choose from, and Taylor Hendricks is one of them. It's either him, Gigi Jackson, Jarace Walker, or Cam Whitmore. You got to get one of them at pick 5 if you're Detroit. And the last guy that I think is going to be a quality NBA player, no questions asked. He's not going to be a bust at all. He's a win now type player. It's Jarace Walker. Jarace Walker played at Houston. Great defender, high defensive IQ. He's a NBA ready player, and his jump shot is on its way. Like, he has a jump shot in his bag. Like, it's not like he's coming into the league with no jump shot. Like, there's a jump shot there. And given the fact that he's a top 5 prospect, in my opinion, he's going to be most likely drafted to a rebuilding team. But the team that I think should draft him is Portland because they want to win with Dame. Now, if Portland trades Dame, don't draft Jarace Walker because Jarace Walker is more of a win now type player in the draft. I mean, he has an NBA body. He has everything that you want, but he's NBA starting caliber right now, in my opinion. So if you're rebuilding, you can get him, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're trying to compete. The difference, though, when I talk about Houston compared to Portland is that Houston got Ime Udoka, who's a defensive-minded coach, and Jarace Walker's defensive-minded player, and that's exactly what Houston needs. So I think getting Jarace Walker is good. I mean, you got your franchise scorer in Jalen Green. You got your playmaker in Sengun. And then Kevin Porter Jr., he is really inconsistent, but he's shown flashes of being a star-level scorer. This is the defensive piece that you need, and he can play the power forward position for you. So I'd recommend getting Jarace Walker at pick 4 if you're Houston, and that's the most likely scenario. I mean, he went to University of Houston, so why not play for the Houston Rockets? And the last landing spot is the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers are a weird team. I've called them the most mid team, them and the Magic, but the Pacers need to figure out what they want to do. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's there to stay, but Miles Turner, you got to figure out what you want to do there. And if you do look to move on from Miles Turner, even though he wants to be here, I don't care if you want to be there. If a team needs to go in a different direction, they should go in a different direction. And Jarace Walker's going to keep that defensive identity if you're Indiana that you lose in a trade giving up Miles Turner. So I like picking up Jarace Walker if I'm Indiana. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next. I think I'm going to make a most overrated prospects list next in this draft coverage. And if there's any other top 5 players that you want to see, like of any category, just give me a category and I'll tell you the top 5 best players that fits it. Thanks for watching. As always, this has been Bold Hoops with Jay Hoopa. Bye.